guys, it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another speed build. Today I am building a pretty large family home, and by pretty large I mean the size of the home is kind of large, but it's not like for a lot of Sims, if that makes sense. It's only a 3-bedroom house, and I kind of imagine that this was for some younger grandparents that have one kid still living at home and one that has moved out and has a family of their own that comes to visit sometimes. This was actually something that I built over on Twitch Live a couple of weeks ago, so this might look familiar if you come to the streams. If you don't, you should definitely come check it out sometime. It's really fun to do some building live with you guys, get some ideas, and just chit chat while we make some stuff in The Sims. Sometimes it's houses, sometimes it's apartments or community lots or what have you. It's just a really good time, and you can come join us at twitch.tv/Miss Gryphi. But anyway, this actually is a base game only house, which I have so much fun building with only base game. And I will say that the beginning of this house was before we got platforms. And then about halfway through, we got platforms in the game. So at first, there's no platforms, but we mess around with them a little bit on the interior of this build. Not too much, I don't think. Well, we have a split level living room, and there's a step down into the dining space. So I guess we use them a decent amount. It's just at first I don't have access to them. So that is that. But anyway, this house comes in to be about 129,413 simoleons. So for a 3-bedroom house, I think it's 3 bedrooms. We might have 4 bedrooms. There might be a spare bedroom on the bottom floor. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But I guess we'll find that out together. But for a home this size, I don't know if that's like very expensive or not. I feel like it is 129K, but I know at least personally, whenever I do gameplay, I'm like, I'm fine with using Motherlode just to buy a house. It's just after that, I'm like, okay, well, we have to pay all of our bills on our own. I'm fine with cheating for a house for whatever reason. And I know there's got to be people that feel the same way, but I also know a lot of players of The Sims, a lot of Simmers, do prefer to earn all of their money on their own when they're playing. So sorry this is a little bit more on the expensive side, but maybe it's something your Sims can kind of look forward to or achieve at some point in time if you download this house, that is. And if you'd like to grab it, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag MissGryphi, and I will have all of that information as well as a direct download link in the description down below. So we're working on the landscaping now, but before we talk about that, I have some breaking news. This is a 4-bedroom house. I looked through the footage, and yeah, there is a spare bedroom on the bottom floor. I couldn't remember if I made it into a spare bedroom or if I had that as like an office space or whatnot. So you'll see that come together. I believe there is also a like kind of crafty room or / painting office room on the first floor as well. But there is also a spare bedroom. So this is a 4-bedroom house. So in the very beginning of this video, and I was like, this is a 3-bedroom house. I was wrong. I was lying. I didn't know I was lying, but I was. Anyway, we're just figuring out some windows and some door placement, and of course the landscaping, the backyard. It's just starting to become like a house shape at this point. I'm just messing around with it, trying to decide how I feel. I really didn't like how many windows I added on this side, so I got rid of them. And then I was like, it needs something. It's too flat. Let's add a bump out. I couldn't make up my mind. And that's very common for me in builds. I experiment over and over. And one thing people that come to streams can attest for is I will be working on a build for however long, and then I'm like, I hate it. And so sometimes I push through, and that build becomes a final house of some sort, and this time that did. But there's been plenty of times where I'll spend 40 minutes like fiddling with something with this idea on stream, and then I'll just bulldoze it and start over. And that happens outside of streaming and recording all of the time. There are probably hundreds of things that I have attempted and just have never come out and seen the light of day at all because I don't like how they're coming out and I scrap them. A lot of times when I sit down to do a build, I will attempt it like 4, 5, 6, 7 times before the version you guys end up seeing. Hopefully that's a little bit relatable because building things like you're happy with is very difficult. Anyway, we painted the outside of this build. I feel like I'm really rambly today. Apologies if that's a problem, but then again, I think all of my voiceovers are just a tad bit rambly. I was very excited to use green stairs. I don't think I've ever used the green stairs before, but the outside of this build was green, and I was like, should we use green stairs? And chat was like, yes. Yes, we should use green stairs. So we used the green stairs. And I think they're kind of a fun accent piece for the inside of this home, a little quirky feature, if you will. One thing I will note is I'm pretty sure I have an open stairwell, or I tried to have one. I can't remember if we kept it in the end. But I know with the most recent patch with the platforms, open stairwells are like a problem. Your Sims can't actually go up the steps because of the invisible fence that's at the top. So if I kept this, I can't remember if I did, the stairs might not function, so you'd have to close that off. But I think I kept it because I didn't realize that was a problem because I did the stairs and like made sure everything worked before that update came out. So apologies for that. You'll just kind of have to close up the stair area if I did leave that in, and I'm pretty sure I did. But anyway, upstairs there ends up being a bathroom, well, 2 bathrooms, I think. Yeah, because there's a master bedroom ensuite, and then there's a hall bathroom, and then 3 bedrooms. And then downstairs, this is going to be like an office/art room, and then there is going to be a bedroom in the corner here, which we're about to section off and then move the door around to make that make more sense. That's going to be the spare bedroom, and then, yeah. So there's a 4th bedroom. But back outside, I started on this landscaping before, and then I just kind of abandoned it. So we're just adding some rocks to frame out this little garden bed and lots of other plants as well at some point. Right now we're still working with the rocks. I used to do this in like every build ever. I feel like it's something I do more so in base game builds now, but I used to make these giant like flower beds like this and frame them out with rocks or some debug items, and I feel like I don't do it as often anymore. I go for more of a natural overgrown look outside. Let me know which one you prefer, what you'd like to see more of. Totally open to that. Also, I would love to do some more base game builds or base game plus like 1 or 2 packs. So if you have any specific suggestions on those, please do let me know. I think it's so much fun to have the restriction of only like 1 or 2 packs. Plus, I know it's way more attainable to just download this if it's only base game, because I know not everyone has all of the packs. I just sometimes get carried away, or most of the time get carried away, and have fun building with whatever I can find because, it's just fun to get carried away and build to your heart's content. But having the limitations is fun as well sometimes. But we're inside now, and we are working on the kitchen. Of course, using these. These are probably my favorite of the more traditional base game countertops, because I also really like the more industrial ones, but that only fits for a specific style, or I often use those ones in garages as well. But of the more traditional cabinets, these ones are my favorite, and I think I like this swatch the best as well. But the dining space is directly off of the kitchen. It's not really a separate room, but later on I will be having it be a step down. So technically it's a separate room, but I just wanted it separated by platforms. I thought that would be a nice thing to do. And here I'm discovering this swatch of the rug, and I was like, ooh, we have to use both of them. I felt like it was too much just to have that much of that reddy color over there, but breaking it up with the beige, I thought it looked so nice. So I was really happy about that. But just adding some clutter on the countertops. I don't think I added too much in here because I didn't want it to feel like messy and overwhelming. I wanted this just to be a pretty family home for some young grandparents. Since, full time they don't have small children here. I didn't think we needed too much small children mess. Sometimes there's some grandkids that come over, but I have a section for their toys and stuff you'll see a little bit later. But this is the downstairs bathroom. Fairly spacious. It's a really big bathroom. And of course it has a tub in here, and just adding a little half wall below it to make it blend in a little bit better. And adding our sink and toilet. The toilets are right in front of the windows, so that's kind of not great. Right on the front porch, you peek in the window and you're like, oh, that person's taking a poop. I don't know how all my voiceovers I end up saying the word poop, but you know what? Welcome to the channel if you're new here. Here we are, finally having platforms, and the first thing I did was sink down this space. And then we are working on the living room, and I'm going to sink that down as well and really experiment with this area, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Honestly, having platforms in the game is completely game-changing. I feel like it makes it so this space looks so much more dynamic. This was a really large, awkwardly shaped room, but I was able to section it off into more of a hallway space plus a living room without having to add walls that I didn't know what to clutter them with. And I was just very excited about it, to be honest. We also have a different level platform in here specifically to put the fireplace on. And I think that's going to be a way I use platforms a lot going forward, is placing fireplaces on them, because I think that's pretty realistic to real life. But as you can kind of see, I do have this open hallway space now. It's not separated by a wall, that has just some spandrels and stuff, and that is going to be how this room functions. If I had no platforms in here, there would just be a lot of empty space, but it doesn't feel empty anymore because of that lower level of the living space. I wasn't particularly going for a specific style, but I kind of feel like the interior of this home looks sort of early 2000s or 90s inspired, which I think is perfect for like young grandparents. So I like that. Also, when you first walk in, we're just working on the little front hallway area here. I think it's just a bookshelf, places to hang up your coat and all of that. And, oh yeah, more coat storage. And did I add a shoe rack? Yeah, I added a shoe rack. Yep, shoe rack here as well. It's a very simple front entryway. It's a really strange shape because I was originally thinking, a closet when you first walk in, but the closet objects only come with get-together. So I was like, okay, we're going to make a makeshift closet here. And here we are making a makeshift coffee table, or yeah, here it is. I kind of combine a couple of items. I liked the idea of having a circular piece that was slightly higher up in the middle to put some flowers on. And then I thought about putting teddy bears down here, but I decided not to in the end. We're going to keep the kids' stuff to upstairs. And that's pretty much it for that living room. There's even a jukebox in there, which is really exciting. And it just kind of reminds me of my grandparents' house growing up. They didn't have a jukebox, but they had a huge stereo system in their dining room that had like every type of player you could imagine in there. There was for CDs, there was for cassettes, there was for all sorts of records and 8-tracks, and just, it was really cool. And my grandmother eventually got rid of it, but I just think of her when I think of like big music players and stuff in houses, so that was an enjoyable ad. But we are on into the office/art studio now that I forgot about, but it worked out really nicely in here because I had those double stacked bay windows and I thought it looked really pretty. And then here is the fourth bedroom that mysteriously appeared. And it's just a spare bedroom, but I love how the colors came out in here. It feels very autumnal, and I'm just living for it. That base game rug under the bed in that swatch, I have a feeling I'm going to start using in everything because it's beautiful. It's so pretty. I didn't know it had that swatch, and I need to use it everywhere now. I think that's pretty much it for this room. We're just going to be adding a painting on the wall by the bed, and then we're going to finish up the chess set. I put a chess table outside earlier because I thought about putting it somewhere else, and then I was like, no, that'll look good on the front porch, and then I didn't put any chairs to it. I just left it there. So just adding those chairs, and now we are on into the master bedroom, which is overwhelmingly beige per usual, but I like how it came out, just using base game items like the rest of this house. I really enjoy the brick backsplash though. I feel like it just adds something to the house, and one thing I always try to go for with base game homes is making them not feel base game, so you guys can let me know if I achieve that or not. Just adding a mirror in the corner. We're gonna add some clutter on this dresser as well, and a little chair in the other corner. Pretty simple, basic decorations for this room. I feel like I tend to go a lot more full out with cluttering when I'm doing more than base game. And then this is the toy area at the top of the steps, this little landing. I thought that could be a nice spot for the grandkids to play when they came over. Also, you can see the hallway got decorated, and the bathrooms as well. I decided to do those off camera because they're just kind of, simple, not too much to them, and it would have made this video so long. So long. I really struggle with these longer voiceovers. I don't know why. I'm just like, what do I talk about? But anyway, we are on into the teenager's room now. This is the child that is still at home, and I love how this room came out. I combined 2 single beds to make a double bed. I have these funky circles all over the room, and the green and black just something about it I'm really enjoying. I feel like this isn't a color scheme I've ever used for a kid's bedroom or a teen's bedroom before, or any bedroom. It was really fun to do. It was something different. And I think when you combine two beds like that, the single beds, it's just like, oh, I never really thought about it this way. And I quite enjoyed that. So just adding some mirrors overlapping on the wall so that they are a little bit of a different shape. And of course, the cow plant poster, because it matches our color scheme and the vibe I was going for. We also have a baby Yoda, and then we're just adding a dresser and such over here before we move on to the last bedroom. So this one doesn't have a whole lot of decoration to it because this was the bedroom of the other child before they moved out on their own. So it ends up being kind of pinkish because I realized this swatch existed on this bed and I thought it was really pretty. So I ended up using that, but there aren't too many decorations. Just think you moved out and your childhood bedroom is still sort of there. It's a little bit cleaner, like your possessions aren't all over the space, but it's still there. You just don't live there anymore. That's kind of the point of this room. So when the parents come and drop off their kids, or if they decide to stay over and like what have you, it's a good extra spare bedroom. So there's 2 spare bedrooms in this house. I feel it's pretty realistic to still have like the kids' bedroom there after they've moved out. So I quite enjoy doing that because it's not something I think I've ever really done. I always decorate thinking, oh, they have kids that are here, or maybe if it is people that their kids aren't living at home anymore, they're older, they just have a regular spare bedroom, or they've moved to a house that doesn't have as much space in it anymore because they don't need it anymore. But I like this in-between phrase. I feel like it's not one I think about too much in The Sims, so it's kind of a nice change of pace to go ahead and do that. But anyway, we're coming to the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That really helps me out. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.